Okay, we're joined by UCLA head coach Corey Close, student athletes Kerry Corver and Jordan Canada. And we'll start with an opening statement about the game from Coach Close.
Well, credit to UConn. They're so consistent in their standard of excellence, and I thought we were prepared. I thought we believed in what we were doing. We just had that segment in the first half for about 8 minutes where we sort of lost our focus and our discipline, and when you lose that, they capitalize. And so credit to them. They've set the bar of excellence, and they've kept it there for a really long time, and it's just a really big commitment to all the little details and a lot of the little inches. But this is my least, I think I shared it with you last year, this is my least favorite statement to make, and just because I just don't want it to end. I just love these young women. And these guys, this little kid from LA here said, hey, I want to stay home and I want to build a program and take a risk and do something special. And we fell short, but that's exactly what she's done. And Kerry Corver, she's one of my very first phone calls within the first week of when I got the job. And she believed in our mission, and not just on the court, but we do things a little differently at UCLA. And she believed in it before it ever bore fruit on the court. And I told the three seniors that I'm different, and I'm better because of them. And I feel like I've received way more than I've ever given. So I hate to see it end, but I couldn't be any more proud of their fight on the court in the second half. I thought they fought their guts out and really responded. But I couldn't be any more proud of their fight, but I also am even more proud of the way they represent UCLA, their character, and the way that they pour out and invest in each other.
Thank you. And now I have questions for the student athletes. We have our two mic holders on the side here. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll get to everybody here. Doug?
Doug Feinberg, the AP. For both of you guys, you got off to such a good start. What was it? Did they do anything different in that first quarter where they went on that run to sort of take a little bit of control? What was the difference there in that first bit that got them going?
For our transcriber, if we could have Kerry go first, please.
I think we didn't rebound particularly well. We had a 10-minute stretch where we didn't get any rebounds, and then they had a bunch of transition threes where we just weren't getting matched up very well, and so they had second chance points and they hit threes in transition.
Jordan?
Yeah, I agree with Kerry, but we also had some mental lapses in the second quarter. That's when they got on their run, and for a second we kind of looked defeated, and that's when they capitalized on their opportunities to score in transition and get offensive rebounds. So I think it was just our lack of focus.
Anybody else with questions? Front row here, second row rather.
Hey, okay, you were on the team that played UConn a couple of years ago. How do you think your team has evolved in that time?
Oh, we're such a better team than that year. We're a lot closer. Our chemistry is so much better. We share the ball so much better. We're way more of a hardworking team. Our culture has completely changed since that time.
And then we'll do Howard after the LA Times.
Kerry, your coach said that you guys need to play your best game of the season in order to beat these guys or have a chance. Do you think this was your best game of the season? Do you think it came close to your best game of the season?
I think there was spurts, but no, I don't think this was our best game of the season. Like I said earlier, we didn't rebound particularly well, and we know that if we're going to win this game, we have to rebound. But yeah, we had some good spurts in there.
Howard?
Jordan, Howard Magdal, New York Times. All year you've been dominant, but to do it today, 20 points and 11 assists, only 2 turnovers against this UConn team, do you feel like you were able to make a statement about the kind of player you have become?
It doesn't matter if I'm playing UConn. I really don't care who I'm playing, honestly. It's all about what I can do to bring energy to my teammates, what can I do to make my teammates better, and to grow as well. So, obviously I had a good game, but that doesn't even matter because we lost. That's all I can say. I don't really care at who we're playing. I just focus on myself and my team and what I can do to get better.
Jim?
Jim Fuller, new head administrator. Jordan, after the game, Coach Oriema stopped in line and talked to you a little bit longer than the rest of the players. Can you just say what he said to you to wish you well?
Well, I'm assuming he thought I was a senior because he said congrats on a great career and good luck on the next level. So I just took it and ran with it. I told him thank you. Maybe that, but that's what he said to me. I just said thank you.
Jerry, in the front.
For both players, could you talk about your impressions of Sanaya Chong? I mean, she's not one of their high-profile players, but she gave them points, rebounds, assists today, especially when it mattered. I think.
Carrie, can you go first, please?
Yeah, I feel like some of her success is my fault. There were times when I was trying to help in and I shouldn't have, and she got open threes. And then one time I was pressuring her and she got a wide open layup. So she did a great job, and I need to do a better job.
Jordan?
She played her role. I mean, she knows who she is as a player, and she helped her team the best way she could.
Howard?
Jordan, you talked about what Gino said to you. What did Corey say to you as you came off the court?
I don't even know.
She told me that we're going to continue to build the program, and that she was proud of me and she was proud of our team.
Glad you were listening.
Any other questions to UCLA student athletes? Okay, thank you very much for your time this weekend. Congratulations on a great season, and we'll open it up for questions and answers with Coach Close, and we'll start with Doug.
Coach, nice game and nice season for you guys.
Thank you.
I think if I saw right, the game before you were watching that Oregon-Maryland game, I think you were giving high fives or something to the Oregon players that came off the court and such. Did that help give you guys a little extra, not momentum or emphasis, but the fact that they just pulled off this huge upset, another Pac-12 team, and then you guys came out into a strong start?
I don't know what it did to us. Our players didn't even know, that was happening. So I just am proud of Oregon. I think the way that we have built the Pac-12 is caring about the Pac-12 more than caring about our own individual success. And I think as now rising tide lifts all boats, but I think we have said, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to raise the level of the Pac-12 together. And so I was just sincerely excited for them. We recruit against each other all the time. A lot of the players on their team I've recruited. I know their staff very well. One of their assistant coaches is one of my best friends in the business. And so I was sincerely excited for them. I don't know how it affected us, but I want to give them a lot of credit and tell them I'm really excited for them.
Roger?
Roger Cleveland from the Waterbury Republican American. Coach, how deflating is it when someone like Sanaya Chong has the game she does? You did a really good job against a couple of their starters, and here she has a huge impact on the game.
Well, I don't think it's deflating. It's just I think that's what they do. They don't rely just on one individual player. They're a really solid team. I mean, you've heard Gino talk about that for years, that when you go to UConn, you're ready, and it's not about you, right? So didn't matter to, Katie Lou, or didn't matter Collier, hey, that's my team. When she does well, we do well. So I don't think it's deflating. I think that's a compliment to them. That didn't surprise me. I mean, you can't do a good job on just 2 or 3 people with Connecticut. You have to do a phenomenal A+ job on the team. And I've watched her a lot on film. She did a great job all year long for them, and so it didn't surprise me at all. And it's never about the individual. It's always about the team, and I think she was just ready when her number was called and her opportunity came.
Dan Madigan, the Daily Campus. You guys only had 6 turnovers against UConn, which is the least they've forced this season. Do you think that's the key for another team to beat UConn? And if not, what do you think is?
Well, I think because they're so efficient, you have to control possessions. So if that can happen in different ways. That can either happen in turnover margin, getting easier shots, or it can happen in rebounding. In that segment, I think at halftime they had 17 points off of our turnovers or second chance points. And I think you can't let them have more shots on the goal than you, because they're just too efficient. You have to get more shots on the goal, because there's not another team in the country that's as efficient as them. And so you have to get more opportunities. So you have to win the possessions battle. So yes, I think, we did okay, but we only took care of half of it. We took care of the ball, but we need to take care of the rebounding and second chance opportunities. And we needed to get some more of those opportunities and crash the boards better. I mean, the compliment to them on their rebounding is they really only crash 2 people. And the fact that they get so many second shot opportunities, what a compliment to their perseverance.
Jim?
I mean, just following up on that a little bit, did you think you would match up well better with Collier and Williams, that you'd be able to keep them from getting in the lane as well as they did?
Well, it's very difficult when you have to chase on screens and you got to hedge on really good three-point shooters. That is always going to leave you a little bit vulnerable for slips and rolls to the basket. And they run so much in the middle of the floor, it makes it hard to rotate and help because who are you going to come off of? Obviously not, any of their players. They shot the three so well. So, I thought we would have to play our best defensive game, and I thought we would have to do it really consistently. And I think anytime we had a mental lapse or we were a step late, then it's the inches. One of my staff members said to the team in the locker room, "You didn't win it by the feet. You didn't lose it by the feet. You lost it by the inches, and you just can't give up any inches." But I thought we matched up okay, but I knew we'd have to be absolutely locked in. And those hedges and pick and rolls, either off the stagger screens where you have to hedge for a second to buy time for the person coming off and trailing, or on the screen and rolls, I knew we'd have to be so quick in those exchanges. And every time we weren't, they made us pay.
Azar from NB Magazine. You guys, UConn couldn't, they literally couldn't put you away or dominate you like they have previous teams in this tournament. What do you think you need to do as far as for next season, going into next season, to beat a team like a UConn, like a Baylor, like a Texas, like a Notre Dame?
Well, I think we've already shown we can do that with some of those other teams, but I will tell you that we have a very good teachable moment right ahead of us, because I think it's our second and third games of the year are against Baylor and UConn at home. So in November. So we're going to have a chance to see if we've learned anything from this experience. I really believe we're knocking at the door of the nation's elite on a consistent basis, but we haven't thrown the door down, and that's what you got to do. You got to want it so bad that you're not knocking on the door, you are just throwing it open and busting through that next level. And we're close, but it's the difference of this much. And I think this game, what we talked about in the locker room, is about those inches. And I will know how much, and I believe, you can tell I can't hide. I'm becoming such a softie in my old age. They get me to cry at a moment's notice here, but I just love them, and I believe that they are invested. Not only they're invested in competing for a national championship, but they're invested at growing at every opportunity and pouring into each other. And so I believe that you will see the difference right off the bat, because we will work all spring, all summer for those little inches. You can't have a mental lapse. You can't go into yourself. There was a couple times where we were mad we missed a basket, and then in transition defense, we weren't quite quick enough matching up and communicating, and bam, give up a three. So that's a 5-point swing. We missed a layup, gave up a three. And we will learn from those inches. But we got to be ready to bust the door down, not be okay knocking on it.
David?
Coach, congratulations on a great season.
Oh, there we are. Sorry. Thank you.
Got a question for you. You and Oregon both came Pac-12 teams all the way across country to Bridgeport, and then got set with early afternoon playing times on top of that. Can you talk for a second what the impact is on having to adjust to flying all the way over here and then playing so early in the day for you guys?
I think you got to be, if you're a competitor, you got to be, I obviously didn't bother Oregon, so I think at this point you got to say, hey, whenever you decide to let me toss this ball up, I'm thankful to be here and you will get my best. I think it's a lack of mental toughness for us to even acknowledge it. You're getting a chance to play in the Sweet 16. I don't care if it's 6 a.m, get yourself ready to play.
Howard and then Erica.
Hi, Corey. Two parts to this. Jordan sort of dismissed it a little bit in terms of who she was playing, but for her to put up, 20 and 11 assists and only 2 turnovers against UConn, and also just relative to that, Monique having 17 and 16 against their bigs on the inside, are those markers in your mind for what you can do, and do you see them as reasons to be more confident going into that Baylor-UConn vortex next November?
Yes, I think they've been proving that all year. I think that's what you saw from Jordan, is that's what my job is. That's what people expect from me, and that's what I have to deliver for my team. I was pleased. I think Monique only had 6, I don't know how many rebounds she had at halftime, but not very many. We really challenged her, and for her to deliver on such a high level in the second half with her rebounding, I thought she'd really stepped up and did a really good job. I thought she was very confident from the start, and really proud of her. But Jordan and Monique, they sort of hold the the torch, and they know that they have to show up every single day and that we are playing around them. And they may be the focal point, but you need every single person. I mean, I think just like, Samuelson and Collier and those guys are like focal points, and obviously Gabby Williams, I mean, you saw Chong. I mean, you have to be everyone. You need everybody all the time. So, but they're the pillars of sort of what we're building around. And with great privilege, they get the most touches, they get the most plays run for them, but they also get the biggest wrath from me. And too much is given, much is required. And so they will need to carry that torch at even a higher level this offseason. I was talking to Jordan the other day, and I just said, you're going to have to be the one that says, hey, if you want to be ready, and I didn't say this, I said it, but if you want to be ready to be at your best, now they're going to be saying, if you want to be ready for when UConn comes in our building, then you're showing up at this time, and we're doing this work, and anyone who wants to be ready, then you better show up. I mean, that's the kind of leadership that Monique and Jordan need to give us, because we will go as they go.
Erica, and then we'll have a last question from Jim.
Coach, wanted to get your thoughts on, from a coaching perspective, how do you create a new team next season, knowing that you have some pieces leaving, obviously some pieces coming in? Sounds like you have an idea of what you want the team to look like, but there might be a different culture just because they're new pieces. So Absolutely. How do you balance that in still trying to strive for the goals that you have for the team or that the team has for itself?
I think it's about people and relationships. Every year is a new puzzle. Every year it's not a scientific formula, it's an absolute art piece. And I don't think you can create a beautiful art piece without really knowing what you have. And I think it's going to be a lot about caring about individuals, taking the time to invest in them as young women, understanding how they fit together, that we're not individual pieces that we're throwing together. We're really trying to build a complementary puzzle. And I don't think you can know that until you invest in the people. And I think that's what we're doing. The mission of our program is to be an elite basketball program that teaches, mentors, and equips young women for life beyond UCLA. And the reality of that is that you got to know them in order to push them to that end. And if we want to be an elite basketball program that's competing for a national championship, every year you got to do the work with the people. And you got to invest in them sincerely, push them to grow. You can't push people to gears they don't even know they have if you don't have a relationship of trust. So it will start there. And I think that's what I have phenomenal assistant coaches and staff. And it'll be about, hey, how do we adjust? How do we, we're not going to run always the same stuff and just recycle. We're going to say, hey, what puts our players in the best possible position? And it's all about investing in relationships and player development.
Last question from Jim.
On Monday night, what do you think the Ducks are going to have to do? What areas of their game will they really have to be on point against UConn?
Well, I mean, the good news is that March you have to have great guard play, and Oregon has great guard play, and so they're going to have to read the screen and roll really well. They're going to have to handle all those switches because there's not a mismatch. A lot of times the people switch as much as they do. There's a mismatch you can exploit, and I think that's going to be harder. But they're going to have to shoot the three well, but they just got to get enough stops that they can play up tempo and shoot the three. I think they're going to have to trade some threes and twos too. But they have great guard play, and their kids they don't know they're young. I've been watching them all year grow, and they just love playing together. So it's going to be a tall challenge, but I'm excited to watch them compete.
Coach, thank you for your time this weekend.
Yeah, thank you all. I appreciate the media and how you guys are growing our game. So thank you, and you guys keep it up.